video, digital media, digital graphic. The 2011 SEmmy Awards.
Good evening. My name is Jim Oliver. I'm the provost of this campus, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the 2011 SEmmy Awards. This year we had the largest number of entries ever in the history of the Semis. The display of talent was overwhelming. And what we realized is that all of our students have such a remarkable individual talent that we could never categorize them. That's why, even though it's our privilege to honor the top entries in each category, there is work that each and every one of you should be proud of and should make you feel confident in your ability to contribute great things to our industry. It's also important to know that there was so much talent in this competition that in several categories, the winning entry was decided by the difference of just a few points in the score. Before we get started with the festivities, I'd like to introduce a very special guest with us this evening. I'm very honored to be able to present him to you, a great friend of the arts at St. Petersburg College, and tonight a great friend of the digital arts, our president, Dr. Bill Law.
Well, thanks very much for the opportunity to be with you tonight. It's always a pleasure when I can invest some time in seeing what our students do. I have a standard line. When we stop talking about what students can't do and we watch what they can do, how come we're always surprised? Students continue to amaze us with the work that they do. Our job is to try to give them the opportunities, access to great faculty, great facilities. And then artists, I've come to learn in my role, artists always are looking for a place to display their work. So being with us tonight to cheer on each other is a wonderful thing. Jim and his team do a great job here in Seminole. I was after he built this up, I was expecting the red carpet and the whole mics and everything else. So I'll recalibrate for what we're doing. Anyway, thank you all very, very much. Congratulations to all of you. Thanks, Jim.
Thank you, Dr. Law. Before we get to the winners, I'd like to talk a little bit about some of the student work you're going to see here tonight. This is the 6th year of the SEmmy Awards, and each year we're more and more amazed at the growth and talent of our students. In fact, this year our advanced videography course is working on producing a documentary. It's third in partnership with PBS. This year's documentary is on the subject of, well, garbage. It's titled, Where's Away? And students are taking an entertaining and informative approach to the question of what really happens to your trash when you throw it away. The class is actually wrapping up production in the next couple of weeks and hopes to premiere the documentary right here in the Digitorium in the beginning of next month. Last year's class had great success introducing the PBS audience to the pilot Tony Janus and his historical flight across the bay in 1914. Let's take a look at a clip from that show.
At any given time, 7,000 U.S. flights are in the air. But it all started with one ticket, purchased in St. Petersburg, Florida. Here is a story of human ingenuity, an idea to turn what was once considered a novelty into a service that would traverse the globe. The pilot of this historic flight? Tony Janus.
And in addition, some of the class projects going on in the digital media program have also had some great accomplishments from our former students. One in particular is Blair Skinner. Blair was on the stage just a couple of years ago for her winning entry in Three's a Crowd. Let's flash back to the 2009 SEmmy Awards ceremony. And the SEmmy for Best Direction goes to Blair Skinner for Three's a Crowd.
I want to thank God, and I want to thank my parents for critiquing the video all the time, and for Markel, my sister, and my brother-in-law, Bill, for filming some of those kind of awkward scenes. Thanks.
Video, Best Direction.
Let's cut to the chase.
What?
Trixie and Bill are dead.
You're telling me my sister and my husband are
You
dead?
shot them.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That was Blair Skinner in 2009. Following graduation from SPC, Blair took a course at UCF and then headed out to Hollywood to pursue her dream as a big-time producer and director. We're very proud of Blair and her accomplishments, and in fact, Blair has just begun production on her first film entitled Relative Eternity, and we've been privileged to get a copy of the trailer for that film to show you this evening. Blair Skinner, 2011.
You would be willing to give up your current afterlife to heaven and take her spiritual path instead?
Why couldn't you just played with me sober? Once.
You gonna cry now, as usual?
I don't know why I ever wanted to be like you.
Jacqueline, no one really knows if they make the right decision. You just make one.
Leave me alone.
How you two ended up so different, I'll never understand.
You've been a good mom.
Hey, catch you on the other side.
You think your stern talk yesterday changed me or something?
Everything you do affects someone else. You can't just do something, anything, and not have it affect everything in the world.
You can choose your own afterlife, your original afterlife.
Jackie, come on.
I can't wait to see that film. Congratulations to Blair for all of her hard work and successes. Now this year's recipients know what may be waiting for them. Blair's in Hollywood tonight, but in our audience this evening are Blair's parents, Tom and Emily Skinner. Let's welcome them, stand and receive a little applause. Thanks for coming and congratulations. Now I'd like to introduce the honored guest for tonight's award ceremony. Emmy Award-winning anchor and reporter Frank Robertson had 36 years' experience thinking on his feet in front of a camera. From live coverage of the 1994 Los Angeles earthquake to interviewing former President George Bush, Frank is an expert at asking the tough questions and getting answers. Frank has anchored, produced, and hosted news and sports programs for 6 television stations throughout the United States. For the last 20 years, he has been one of the faces of WTVT in Tampa, where he reported, anchored the nightly newscast, and produced many special segments. With thousands of broadcast interviews under his belt, Frank has cultivated a stellar reputation as a media strategist who coaches corporations, nonprofit organizations, and political and sports personalities on effective messaging, crisis news management, and delivering effective presentations. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Frank Robertson.
Thank you, Dr. Oliver. It's a pleasure for me to be here tonight, and I am here for a couple of reasons, I think. I was a news anchor, that is past tense, almost 2 years ago. I retired at the very young age of 58. So now you know how old I am now. The big 6-0 was in January, and it went by like that. It seems I was in college just, a couple of years ago. But the reason when Jeremy Peplow asked me to come tonight, I was delighted to say yes, because the documentary you saw, Janus, American Aviator, I was privileged to narrate that. And I come cheap, so, the college welcomed me into the fold to do that. And the other reason is, and you can see it, I'm wearing a pin here that is a little pin of the Benoit airboat that Tony Janus flew, because I'm a member of the Tony Janus Distinguished Aviation Society. In fact, right now, I told Jeremy I'm suddenly find myself co-chair for the next 2 years. And the documentary you saw a clip of, or the trailer of, aired on Channel 3 in Tampa several times. But now our goal is to get it aired on PBS stations across the country. And to that end, we are writing letters to all the programmers across the country at these various stations and sending out the DVD so they can get a sampling of what it's like. And then we're networking with people we know in those markets to encourage them to call the station to say, there is this great documentary that you must air. The reason I'm not an aviator, I don't aspire to be a pilot, I never have, but I am really into history, which gets me to why I was in the industry I was for all those years. It's not how it started out. In fact, I was up in my home state of New Jersey visiting friends and family last week and got to reconnect with a couple of high school friends, one of whom said to me, how in the world did you get into radio and television? Because I did nothing in high school that would have projected a career in that field. Well, I took one journalism class last year, but I didn't write for the paper, I didn't do the PA announcements, I didn't do any of that, but I harbored this secret desire to be on the radio. I was more interested in a microphone than I was being in front of a camera. And my guidance counselor knew that, and so she encouraged me to attend or to apply to Ohio University, which I'll hasten to add is not Ohio State. Ohio University is in Athens, Ohio. It's much older than Ohio State by about 60 years, and it's a much better institution. I'm sorry. I apologize to any Buckeyes who may be here, but not that much. And I told my friend who asked me, how did you get into the field? I said, well, I attended Ohio University for 2 reasons. A, I was granted admission. And secondly, they had an incredible communications program, and the university still does. And I went there as a radio television major because the journalism school back in the early 70s was really very print-oriented. There were some broadcast classes, but it wasn't very broadcast-friendly. And so those of us who went there at that time to do what I ended up doing, being a news reporter and news anchor, were RTV majors. Now we would be telecommunications majors. I was not a great student, I'll be honest with you, and it took me a couple years to find my footing and to get my foot in the door at the radio station, where I walked in and I said to the news director, I want to be a sportscaster. He said, I don't need sports idiots, I need news people. And I thought, well, if this is the path of least resistance that I can get on the air, okay, I'll be a news person. And then I worked really hard at that. I'm not doing this. A lot of us who found success later threw ourselves into volunteering at the radio and TV stations. And we were doing hourly newscasts every half hour on the radio. We had an AM, FM, and we had a television station that was PBS. And we did a 10 o'clock news every night. And here I am, a college kid, co-anchoring the news on the PBS station that actually got into Ohio, West Virginia, and Kentucky via cable. And from that, I landed my first job in television in Toledo, Ohio. I joked that it was the worst television station in America, but after 36 years later, you gain some perspective. And I still think it was the worst television station in America. And back then, this is where we get to this whole digital thing, which boggles my mind, and here's why. State of the art at that time was 16 millimeter film. Forget videotape. There was videotape, it was on a big 2-inch reel. And that's the way programs were recorded and then replayed. But state of the art for gathering television news was 16 millimeter film. And I was exposed to a little of that in college, but had to jump in with both feet when I got hired by the station in Toledo, Ohio, because there were only 4 people in the news department. I was the 4th. And we had to shoot our own film and process our own film and edit our own film. The ridiculous part was, when I had to record my script, the union engineer had to do it for me. I couldn't do it myself, but everything else we had to do. And we traveled, and I had to learn everything my first week on the job because the other photographer reporter was going on vacation. The only benefit I got out of this was I learned a lot of what not to do, what was wrong in television, and it taught me a valuable lesson. And here I was, 22 years old, when the anchor / news director went on vacation or had time off or was sick. I was it at 22. But after about a year and a half of a lot of nonsense, including bounced paychecks, that's a strong message, I had a radio offer in Toledo, and it was for more money, and I was thinking about making the move. I called back home to New Jersey, where I had worked for a little station the summer between my junior and senior year, and I needed for advice. What should I do? And the general manager said, well, if you want to go back into radio, come back here. I'll pay you $160 a week, $160 a week, and $25 for each game you do, each football game, play-by-play. I said, done. He didn't know I'd never called a football game, but I bluffed my way through it, and I had a great time. So I stayed in radio. I'll fast forward. I'll hit the highlights. I stayed there for a couple of years. I had another shot in television in Richmond, Virginia. Stayed there about 4.5 years. I went to Greenville, Spartanburg, Asheville. That's a hyphenated market in South Carolina. Worked for a great TV station there, a CBS affiliate. Got a call one day from Phoenix, Arizona, from the ABC affiliate. We've seen your tape. Would you come out and be interviewed? Yes. It was one of those, it was a 3rd-rated station. And typically what you'll find, by the way, if you ever get into this on-camera profession, is that when they make changes at TV stations, it's usually not the first place station that does it. It's the 3rd place station that's trying to get ahead, so they tend to make personnel changes more readily. And I got out there for a couple of years, and I was there a year, and there was a management change, and my future was uncertain, and ultimately it would have worked out, but I elected not to stay there, and I landed in Miami for 2 long years. And it wasn't really that satisfying professionally or personally for me, and I was so lucky that WTVT, at the time the CBS station in Tampa, Channel 13, had an opening for a weekend anchor, ostensibly, but to become the lead anchor. And I came up here in 1988 and had the best run of my career. I can't tell you. And I met my wife, Kathy Fountain. That's the best part of all. And I was so proud of the work we did there. The one Emmy Dr. Oliver mentioned was one I won at Channel 13. I've been nominated a couple times in other markets, but I was just so proud of the work we did. I will say, when people ask, well, do you miss it? I said, no, I'll tell them no, and here's why. Because it's a younger person's business. And I'm sure every generation says that. And that's good news for most of you in this room. And the reason it's a younger person's business is that the model is constantly changing. It is now, Dr. Law and I were talking a few minutes ago about how the internet is such an important, integral part of what TV stations do. It became, in fact, the focal point to the extent that before I left, if I went out and shot a story, my mission was not to get it on TV first, but to write it for the web first, which I thought was kind of backwards, but that's what they insisted upon. And it's interesting because a lot of newspaper reporters now, or newspaper photographers, are shooting video as well as stills, and that video is to go on the newspaper's website. So we're kind of doing this, where print used to be, you know, an actual newspaper you picked up, and it still is. Now we have an internet version as well. We can go to the website. And what's going to change there, I will tell you, is that most of these sites are free right now. For example, the Times and the Trib, you can just go online and TVO.com or TampaBay.com, and you can read the paper online. But what will change eventually is you'll have to subscribe. You'll have to pay for that. And in a lot of places, that's already happening. But as far as television is concerned, what's really changed, when I was just starting out, and this was the case for years and years and years, and back in the 70s, cable was not much of a factor. You had 3 stations in most markets, CBS, NBC, ABC. So there was a nice big piece of the pie for each of those stations. Even the third place station still made money. Now, how many choices do you have? How many choices do you have? I'm not talking about just locally, but it's infinite, depending on what your cable offerings are and what tier you have, that you could watch a different channel every hour of the day, and then some. And so people aren't as tuned in. They don't make an appointment to sit down at 6 o'clock or at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock to watch the news. Why? Because you can get it pretty much any time you want. So that's just to tell you that that's the challenge if you choose a news career. I say go to Hollywood. I want to go to Hollywood, quite frankly. But if you choose a news career, just what you have to be aware of, extremely competitive, and you're competing against the papers are competing against the TV stations, and radio is still a huge factor. It's an important factor. And a lot of people wonder about how do newspaper and television people get along. I always got along with people in other media because I think they're all important. They have different functions. And so as you go forward, I would encourage you to look at all your possibilities. There will always be a need for news. The delivery system is changing, that's for sure. And so the internet is a huge factor. But I think it's a little bit overrated in that there are a lot of people who still don't, a lot of the older generation, they still don't have internet. And we found this when we switched from analog to digital, that there was an assumption that everyone had a digital-ready television set. Not true. 10 to 15% of this market still used a conventional antenna, a rabbit ear, if you will. And that's why they got those translator boxes. And that's why it was delayed, because the whole market wasn't ready for it. So it's an exciting time, and I love my career with all my heart. And I'm still doing a little radio. I'll plug it. Saturday mornings on 620 WDAE, 8 to 9, we're doing a golf show, and we have a lot of laughs. And if you're in, you don't even have to be into golf. We talk about other sports as well, and it's been a blast. And I've been doing some acting on stage, and did a little stand-up comedy recently, as a matter of fact, that I can't really share in full with you. But I had a great time doing it. So it's a great career. It's a great industry. And you're already learning how it's changing with the technology. And it's an exciting, competitive field. And I wish every one of you well, and congratulations to all of you who are here tonight for being recognized for your excellent work. My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you again. Thanks. Another round of applause for Frank Robertson, please. Now is the time for the awards, but before we do that, I want to recognize some folks in the audience. An event like this doesn't just happen. It takes the support of the leadership of the college, and Dr. Law being here after, I know I was with him last night till 20 to 10. He was up at Tarpon Springs when I got there this morning at 8:15. He'd probably been up there for an hour. So his presence here this evening is a tribute to his support for this program and this college. A number of other folks that I'd like to recognize real quickly, and if you'd hold your applause, the Dean of the Humanities and Fine Arts, John Steele, is here. John, if you'd stand. The lead instructor for our digital media program, Delinda Keefe. The chair of our program, Basil Moutsatsos, Humanities and Fine Arts. On the drums in the back are the lead TRS, Technology Resource Specialist, Ken Hayward, making the music work. And then we have other members, and I'm going to miss them if I try to single them out, of our digital arts, our music, and our humanities and fine arts faculty. If you'd please stand and be recognized for your excellent work with these students. Very good. I also want to be sure to let everybody know that after our celebration in here this evening, we have our SEmmy Night Awards party out in the lobby, where you can congratulate the winners. There'll be refreshments from Frida's and some sweet treats and some music. I also want to remind the winners for the first time tonight, if you're a winner, please, at the end of the ceremony, we want to take some pictures. So don't go out. There'll be plenty of sweet treats for you if you'd come, if you're a winner, to the stage for some photos. Okay, now it's the time to give out the awards. After an award has been presented, we'll screen a highlight of the winning work. But first, we'll show the nominees in the categories. And our first award will be for Best Video Game Creation. Let's take a look at the nominees.
Gaming, Best Video Game Creation. Gerald Peer, Sausage Fest.
I don't eat meat because I'm a veterinarian.
Vito Marconi, Post-Apocalyptic Skyway Hero. Gaming, Best Video Game Creation.
And the winner for Best Video Game Creation is Gerald Peer for Sausage Fest.
Thank you, everybody, and thank you for having a sense of humor about it. I want to thank my family and friends for not only supporting me throughout the entire process of making this game, but also for not hating me for coercing them for doing the voiceovers. That was my sister, being the airhead. I just want to thank everyone who was a part of that. I also want a big shout out to my brother Matt, who loaned me his sound recording equipment for the voiceovers. And Andy Henderson, who did an original score and all the sound effects for the game. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's take a look at Gerald's Sausage Fest.
Gaming, Best Video Game Creation. Gaming, Best Video Game Creation.
Next, very good. Next, we'll present the award for the Best Digital Graphic category. Here are the nominees for Best Digital Graphic.
Graphic Design, Best Digital Graphic. Mary Katy Armington, Billboard. Marie Eliska Adema, Artichoke Poster. Mary Katy Armington, DVD Project. Graphic Design, Best Digital Graphic.
And the winner for the Best Digital Graphic is Mary Katy Armington for DVD Project.
I didn't know I was going to have to prepare a speech, but I'd like to thank my boyfriend. He's out in the audience. He helped me write come up with the idea for the movie, because I had to create the movie to design the DVD cover for. So it was a sci-fi flick, and he helped me come up with the little movie summary. And I'd like to thank Reagan Brown. She's not here, but she was my teacher. She's a really good professor. That's it.
Congratulations again to Katy. Let's take another look at that winning entry.
Graphic Design, Best Digital Graphic. Graphic Design, Best Digital Graphic.
And now we'll present the SEmmy in the category Best Videography. Here are the nominees, Best Videography.
Video, Best Videography. Glenn Smith, How Chariots of Fire Almost Killed the SPC Student. Sean Cultice, Eye for an Eye.
Where's my family?
Jacob Zarnowski, Dora. Video, Best Videography.
And the winner for Best Videography is Sean Cultice for Eye for Eye. Eye for an Eye.
First, I'd like to thank my beautiful actress, who I get to marry next year, so that's pretty exciting. I'd like to thank Lisa and Sarah, who taught the class, my producer and director, who probably aren't here, and my parents, who did come, who got me into St. Pete College so I could do things just like this. Thank you.
And here's another look at Sean's winning entry.
Video, Best Videography. Video, Best Videography.
Next, we'll present the award for Best Direction. Here are the nominees for Best Direction.
Video, Best Direction. Michael Davies, Clocked Out.
Enterprise Corporations, this is Marcus speaking.
Jeff Ramone, Perception. Kevin Smith, how chariots of fire almost killed the SPC student. Video, Best Direction.
And the winner for Best Direction is Michael Davis for Clocked Out. I believe that should be Michael Davies, shouldn't it, Michael?
Congratulations. Thanks. I'd like to thank the videographer, Mark Farag, who actually won last year for Karma Train, which right now has like 4,000 views on Vimeo, which is pretty awesome. And he actually also did videography for the Janice documentary that was up there, so that's pretty cool. And Michael Strang, who co-wrote the episode, and SBC for letting us borrow the lighting equipment and stuff, so thanks.
And here's another look at Michael's winning entry.
Video, Best Direction.
I make the money, I wanted the girl. What do I have? Nothing. Speaking of nothing, did you see Danya get Schmoozer of the Month for the 3rd time in a row? I don't know how she does it, man. Seriously, that's hard-earned cash that could be going into my pocket. Yeah, maybe if I was a brown-nosing, ass-nuzzling, money grub. Oh, hey, Danya. Didn't see you there.
Don't be jealous. I get paid $2 more an hour than you just for being better than you, Marcus. No offense, Tom.
Video, Best Direction.
Next, we'll present the award for Best Video in the Best Video Editing category. Here are the nominees for Best Editing.
Video, Best Editing. Jeff Ramon, Corazon de Tampa.
In my heart, the Spanish melody.
Kira Reynolds, How to Draw an Anime Face. Sean Cultice, Que pour une vie. Video, Best Editing.
And the SEmmy for Best Editing goes to Sean Cultice for Que pour une vie.
The beautiful actress is in that one as well. I'd like to thank her again. My parents again, because they're still here. Thanks.
Let's take one more look at Que pour envie.
Video, best editing. Video, best editing.
Next, we'll present the award for Best High School Video Production. Here are the nominees in the video category for Best High School Video Production.
Video, best high school video production. Laurie Colin, Dream Stash.
Now I have the power. Me! What's going on? What is this? I don't even know anymore. How's life be different, Lori? It's very different.
Carson Ritch, Wash Me. Isaac Berner, Blue Justice.
I'll be out in a second.
What is that doing in this room?
Oh, it's something from the Lombardi family distillery, I think. Mom said it was an early birthday present.
Well, she's trying to bribe you. That's cheating.
Video, best high school video production.
And the winner for Best High School Video Production, Carson Ritch for Wash Me.
I'd like to thank my parents who are here and myself. Thank you.
Let's take another look at Carson's winning entry.
Video, best high school video production. Video, best high school video production.
This is the 6th year of the SEmmys, but it's the first year we've included music in our as one of our categories. We have a very strong program on the St. Pete Gibbs campus in music and recording arts, and so it's a delight to bring our music folks in and to make awards in this category. So it's the first time ever for these music awards, and we're very excited to be able to present them. So the next award is for Best Thematic Composition for Film or Game. And the nominees in that category, let's take a look.
Digital Music, Best Thematic Composition for Film or Game. David Martinez, In Love with the Music. Hajruddin Spiodik, Until I Die. Digital Music, Best Thematic Composition for Film or Game.
And the winner of Best Thematic Composition for Film or Game is Hedro Spidovic.
I don't know who to thank. I guess it's everybody involved in this and for giving me a chance to participate. Thank you.
Let's take another look at Hedro's winning entry.
Digital Music, Best Thematic Composition for Film or Game. Digital Music, Best Thematic Composition for Film or Game.
That was a music award. I guess I should have said, let's give another listen to, not give another look to, but outstanding work. The next, we'll present the Digital Music Award for Best Song. Here are the nominees in the category Best Song.
Digital Music, Best Song. Billy Cumberledge, Consequences to My Action. Rose Raquel, Chasing Your Shadow. Chelsie Smith, Can't Let You Say Goodbye. Digital Music, Best Song.
And the SEmmy for Best Song goes to Chelsie Smith for Can't Let You Say Goodbye.
I like to thank the Academy. I like to thank my friends, family, and my teachers because I honestly would not be here without them. And I'd like to thank Dustin Browse for helping me with this. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Let's listen to some more of Chelsea's Can't Let You Say Goodbye.
Digital music, best song. Digital music, best song.
Next, we'll present the Digital Music Award for Best Interactive Music or Sound Design. And here are the nominees in that category.
Digital music, best interactive music or sound design. Connor Head, Outpost. Chelsie Smith, Soundscape. Digital music, best interactive music or sound design.
And the winner for Best Interactive Music or Sound Design is Connor Head for Outpost. Connor couldn't be with us today, and so his professor, Jeff Donovic, is accepting for him. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'd like to just brag briefly about Connor. He's a young man who makes great music that you just heard, and he's working tonight, so he couldn't be here. He's one of the hardest working students. He's made some incredible music, and I'm proud to announce that he has his own record label. You can listen to his tracks on SoundCloud under Decibel Nation B, or D Nation B. And also, he just recently got signed to Dangerous New Age Records. Very young student doing a great job, well-earned prize.
So now another little clip from Outpost.
Digital music, best interactive music or sound design. Digital music, best interactive music or sound design.
Okay, we're down to the last SEmmy Award, and that's for Best Overall. But before this award is presented, I want to remind all the winners in tonight's competition that we'll have a group photo up here on the stage at the end of the ceremony, so please come up at the stage at the end of the show. And we'd like to invite everyone to our post-awards show party out in the lobby, where you can have refreshment and celebrate with the award winners after their photo shoot. The winner of Best Overall was chosen for overall excellence in every aspect of production. It received high scores in every category, and in the judge's opinion, would stand up to any student competition anywhere. And I will tell you, making the decision on this one was very, very tough, with the thinnest of margins for the winner. But before we name the winner, let's take a look at the winning entry.
No. Look, Mr. Popscopoulos, I don't care if your colostomy bag exploded right there in Fenway Park, right in front of a 3-year-old. It's not my problem anymore. I don't even know why you keep calling me. You're not with our company. No, dude, your premium expired 3 months ago. What part of that don't you understand? Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sure my manager would love to hear from you. Yeah, all right. What's up, Tom?
What's going on?
I'm probably gonna get fired for that one.
And the winner of Best Overall, Michael Davies for Clocked Out.
Wow, I didn't even know that existed, Best Overall, so this is awesome. One thing I actually did wish I would have said on my last speech was that if you want to check out Clocked Out Webisode 1, it's on youtube.com/clockedouttv. We're actually working on the second episode right now. It's already written and everything, and then the third one's being written right now. So thanks again. Yeah, thanks.
That concludes our award ceremony for this evening. Thanks everybody for coming, and good night.